In this video, we're going to learn how to upload files using PHP. So first of all, we're going to create a form that we're going to use to upload files, and then we're going to write some PHP code to process the user inputs. So let's start with the form. So we're going to create our form using the form tags. So the first input, we're going to put it inside a form group, or a div of class form group. Okay. And then we're going to place our input inside. So the input this time is going to be of type file. Okay. Type file. And let's give it a name, file for example, an ID as well, file. And we can also give it a placeholder, file. Okay. And let's add a label just before the input, saying choose file. Now let's add our submit button. It's going to be an input of type submit, and let's give it a name, submit, and let's style it using the button class and the button success class. Okay. Okay, now let's make our button a little bit bigger using the button large class. And also, let's change the value of the button to upload. Okay, so now we've got our form ready. Okay, so we can choose a file. Okay, and then submit the form once we have chosen our file. Now we're gonna write some PHP code to process the form, but before we do that, we will need to give our form a method. So the method needs to be post. Okay. All right. And the action is going to be the same file that we're using. So by default, it's the same file. So we don't have to write the action. And we have to use another attribute. It's called encoding type. So when we are uploading files, we have to use this attribute to ensure that we have the right encoding of the data, because we are uploading big quantities of binary data since we are uploading files. Okay, so we need to set this to multi-part form data. Okay. All right. So now we are ready to write our PHP code, which is going to check if the user has submitted the form, and then it's going to check if there are any errors. If there are errors, we are going to print them on the screen. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to upload the file to a specific location. Okay, so let's go to our FileFTP for now, and just create a directory inside our workspace, and let's call it uploads. So that's where we want to upload our files. Okay. All right. So if we have any error messages, we're gonna print them just before the form. So we're gonna write our PHP code just before the form, or right after the header. Okay. So let's write our PHP tag there. Okay. File inputs. if you had two file inputs, then this files variable would have two elements. So you've got only one element, okay? And the value of that element is also an array. And this array has got all these elements inside. So it's got an element of key name, and we can see the value of the element there. That's the original name of the file that we are uploading. The type of the file, okay? And by the way, this type is what we call the MIME type of the file, which stands for multi-purpose internet mail extensions. And it's just a way of identifying files on the internet, okay, depending on their formats. And then we've got a temporary name. So this is the temporary name of the file, okay? And basically this file is going to be stored somewhere temporarily, and that's the full path of the file, okay? Or the file that is stored temporarily. And then you've got another element of key error. So this error at the moment is has got a value 0, because there is no problem at the moment uploading this file, okay? But if you had any issues, this error would be greater than 0, okay? There are many status codes. One of them is 4, for example. If we are missing the file, there is no file being uploaded, okay? And finally, we've got the size of the file in bytes, okay? So if we try, for example, to upload no file, just like that, we still have an element of key file, and the array this time is different because we have no name, no type, no temp name, no size, but we've got an error, and the status code this time is 4. Okay, so now we can write some simple code. Okay, before we start looking for errors, we can write some code just checking or getting the values, all these values, okay? If we have no errors, okay, then we can get the name of the file, the type of the file, the temp name, and the size of the file. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So basically, first what we're going to do, we're going to check if the elements of key error is strictly greater than 0, okay, which means that we have no error, okay. If it's greater than 0, meaning that we have an error, okay, then we're going to say that there was an error, okay, and we say what the status code of the error. Otherwise, we're going to print the name, type, and so on of the file. So if files, okay, and we're going to access the elements of key file, okay, first, and then inside this one, we're going to access the error, or the elements of key error. Okay, so you want to check if this is strictly greater than 0, okay, then we are going to echo a paragraph saying there was an error. Okay, and basically we can just say what the error was, okay. And the error is going to be this. Okay. Else, we are going to print the other elements. So first of all, we're going to echo the file name. So let's have a paragraph. Okay, and then inside the paragraph, let's write file colon, and let's add the file name here. So to get the file name, as we have done with the error, so we're just going to access the name by accessing the file first and then getting to the name. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing with the other elements. So you're going to get the type, Okay, so file type, and then we are going to get the temporary location of the file. We need to use the temp name elements, and let's get the size of the file. File size. I'm going to replace this with size. Okay, and that's it regarding the elements. And we can also add another one. So we want to store our files or our file in the folder uploads. Okay, and we want to keep the same name of the file, so we know what the final destination of our file is, and that destination we call it permanent destination. Okay, permanent destination. Okay, so let's duplicate this and just write permanent destination. Okay, and we are going to set that to uploads /. Okay, and since we want to keep the same name of the file, or the same original name of the file, we are going to use the name of the file, okay, which is this. Okay, so let's try this. So if we choose a file, let's choose this one. Okay, we click on upload. All right, so you can see here the file is this one, the type is this. Okay, so text file, the temporary location, the file size, okay, in bytes, and the permanent destination is this. All right. Okay, now that we understand the files variable, we are ready to go ahead and look for any errors once the user has submitted the form. And if everything is valid, we are ready to upload the file using PHP. So inside the condition, if the user has submitted the form, we are going to look for errors, okay, and then upload the file if you want. So I'm just gonna create some space there. Okay, so you're gonna write this code before this chunk, because we want the error message just to appear there if there are any errors. Okay. Okay, now before we start looking for errors, and just to make our code look really structured, we're gonna create variables where we're gonna store all the details of the file. And also we're gonna create some other variables where we're gonna store the possible error messages to display, as we did with the contact form that we have created earlier. So let's start with the file details. So let's get the name of the file. And that's going to be this one. Okay. Let's get the type. And let's get the size. And also let's get the error element and call it file error. Okay, and let's get the temporary name. And finally, let's get the permanent destination. Okay, and we know that the permanent destination is going to be inside the uploads folder, and it's going to be this. Okay. All right, now let's define all our error messages to display all the paragraphs as we did with the contacts form. So the first one is going to be if we are submitting the form with no file. Okay, if we submit the form and we haven't chosen any file to upload, and this one we're going to call it no file to upload. Okay, and we're going to go for a paragraph, and all our paragraphs we're going to place text inside the strong tags. And then later on, when we create our result message variable, we're going to place the paragraphs inside a variable called errors, which is going to go inside the divs of the final results message. Okay, so the first one is going to be please upload the file. Okay, and then another one. Okay, so if we try to upload a file and that file already exists, okay, in our uploads folder, okay, then we're going to have an error message saying, so this one is going to be file already exists, and we're going to write this file already exists. Okay, and then another one. So later on we are going to limit the types of files we are allowed to upload. Okay, and we're gonna set that to a couple of types. We're gonna accept PDF files and text files only. Okay, so and the error message we're going to get if we upload a wrong format is going to be, so the variable is going to be a wrong format, and the error message is going to be sorry, you can only upload PDF and text files. Okay, and finally we are going to limit the size of the file that we're allowed to upload, and we're going to limit that to 3 megabytes. Okay, so let's have another error message, and let's call this variable file too large, for example, and this time we're going to say you can only upload files smaller than 3 megabytes. Okay, so these are all the error messages that we might need to display in our results message.